Hello everyone, it's Glenda and welcome back to Creative Grandma. This channel is all about crochet, promoting crochet, having fun with crochet, and getting you inspired about crocheting. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about crochet books that are out in the marketplace. And I do the Stitch of the Week program and I try to bring you new stitches as much as I can. And when I go into the bookstores, I'm always trying to build my reference materials for new stitches. And I always look at those stitch books where they show the different patterns. And if you're like me, a lot of times some of those books just are not crocheter friendly. So I bought a couple books about Tunisian crochet and they had wonderful photographs. They had wonderful pictures of the stitches and it just looked so exciting, but yet the instructions were so confusing that even with as many years experience that I have, some of the patterns I couldn't learn because the instructions in the books were like coded with these symbols that were all over the place, and it just made it extremely hard even for an experienced crocheter to figure out these patterns. So when I was at the bookstore, I really try to review the books, and I don't do a lot of book reviews, but I found a book and I'm going to show it to you today that I feel is well worth the money. And I'm going to tell you why. And if you're one of those people that you like to have those reference books for stitches, then I just want to show you the reason why I like this book. And also, I'm going to ask your opinion as my subscribers. If you have a favorite crochet stitch dictionary reference book, go ahead and put that in the comments section so all of us can see what everybody else is using, and then maybe I can find a better instruction book, or maybe one of my subscribers can find a better book. Now today's book that I'm going to show you, I only have one problem with it and I'll show you, but this is an excellent book and it's called The Crochet Stitch Dictionary by Sarah Hazel. I don't know if you've ever seen this book. I'm really not sure how old it is. I just found it the other day. And when I was looking inside, it just fascinated me so much of how this book was put together. It is so well put together. I'm going to swing my camera around and I'm going to show you some examples in the book. Because it's copyrighted, I can't show you a lot. I'm just going to go over how the book was put together and why I feel this is one of the #1 books that anybody who wants to build their crochet stitch reference should really have in their reference library. So let me swing that camera around and let me really show you how great this book is. So first, let's take a look at the cover of the book. It's very straight to the point. It's a crochet stitch dictionary. It has 200 essential stitches with step-by-step photos. And again, this is one of the most well put together crochet stitch books I have seen in a while. So when you open up the book, what I liked most was when you look at the table of content, look how they did the directory of stitches. You can find your stitch at a glance, and I really like this. Like I said, this book was so well put together. I wish all books were this well made. So here is the dictionary of stitches, very well put together. You can see those different stitch patterns, just an excellent way to start the book. And then when you get further into the book, it tells you about the book. It gives you the directory of stitches. It tells you about getting started. It goes into equipment and materials you may need. It gets into essential crochet skills, how to hold the hook, hold the yarn, making your slip knot. It gets into the foundation chains, fastening off, weaving in ends, just an extremely large amount of information. Joining your yarns, seams. It gets into the basic stitches, very well illustrated. It shows here a little bit about aftercare of your crochet projects. It gets into some of the stitches, the basic stitches. And then in the back of the book, I'm going to show you the back, and then I'm going to show you how the book is illustrated. It shows you the symbols and the abbreviations of some of the stitches in this book. So very detailed. And I have to show you why that I chose to do a book review on this book. And it's because of how it was put together. Now I'm going to skip back to maybe a harder stitch. I'm going to pick the peacock stitch. So what they did with this book is they did the photo of the stitch. They did a diagram of the stitch pattern, because some people can do the stitch base by doing the diagram, and then other people prefer the written instructions. Then they not only did that, but they also showed step-by-step photos, and then down here, even more detailed illustrations. And I thought this book was one of the better, I know I keep saying it, one of the better illustrated books for a stitch book, because it gives you all these resources. So if you don't understand the written word, then you can see how the stitches are put together, where all these stitches go in that same chain. You can count how many chains you skip, where the next stitch goes. I just thought this book was absolutely fascinating. So those were all the positive things I enjoyed about the book, but I just wanted to show you the one thing that was a little bit negative for me, and that is because of my eyesight. When you open the book, you can see that the text, the print size of the words for the instructions is very, very small. Now, if you have really good eyesight, then that you could probably read that with no problem. Now me, when I turn this book over, I cannot read the words because of my eyesight. So if you have trouble with your vision, you might find that the written word of the instructions is a little too small. So make sure you pick up a pair of those readers. If you don't have the magnifying readers, you will need them to read this if you have any trouble reading close up. So that was the only thing I had trouble with the book. But if you can read the diagrams, I'm trying to point this out. I didn't need to read the pattern because I could tell how it was made by just looking at the diagram. I'm just going to do a fan through, real quick fan through, and you can see the many, many stitches. I'm sorry about that glare. It's just the sun is really shining. You can see how beautiful color photographs, beautifully illustrated, step-by-step photos. And if you're one who likes to learn the new crochet stitches, I do believe that this is well worth the money. So just a quick going through, see some of those stitches, and that's what's in the book. Now let me see if I can see the price. This was $22.95, and I bought this at Barnes & Noble's up in State College. So this was on the shelf. You may be able to find it a little more inexpensive, maybe on Amazon or one of the other ones. You may be able to find a used copy. So I would definitely recommend this book for anyone who likes those crochet stitches. So let me just read this about Sarah Hazel, because this is an excellent book. Sarah Hazel is a freelance workshop tutor and knit and crochet designer who joined Rowan Yarns in 2006. She co-authored I Love Crochet as well as Exploring Color in Knitting. Sarah also designs for knitting and making magazines. So Sarah, wonderful book. I absolutely love it, and I think my subscribers are going to love it too. Thank you everybody for stopping by today and just reviewing this book with me. I hope you enjoyed it. So make sure you write in the comments section what your favorite crochet stitch book is. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the crocheting fun. Happy crocheting, everyone!